There are the face-off percentages. Rutgers close to 54% through 4 games. Frankie Labetti, 45 in the white for Fairfield, ranks 20th in the nation in face-off percentage. He wins the first one for the Stags. He attacks and fires over the crossbar. Backed up by Fairfield. And we are underway at Rafferty Stadium on Conway Field in Fairfield, Connecticut. 4th straight year the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Fairfield Stags get together. Starting attackman for Fairfield, Dylan Beckwith, Brendan Quinn, freshman Patrick Drake, and they'll have Brian Rita out there as well. Quinn starting as a midfielder today. Here's Beckwith, the lefty. Throws it in the middle. Mishandled momentarily by Rita, turned over by Fairfield.
And I like what they did there, brought Beckwith up top. He played a lot of midfield last year. He feels comfortable up there. Bring him up top, bring those poles that are used to playing close defense, get them out in front of the goal. A lot of those guys don't feel comfortable playing there. That's something to watch. That could be a nice matchup for Fairfield.
Here are the Scarlet Knights. First possession on offense, attackman Tommy Coyne. Upstairs to Casey Rose, the redshirt senior from Salt Lake City, Utah. Rutgers this season averaging over 12 goals per game. Again, coming off a season low, just 7 goals against the #1 Loyola Greyhounds. 2 straight losses to top 20 teams for Rutgers. David Sprock, the freshman, swings it upstairs towards Gallagher. Nowhere to go here for Adam Sherlambides, the redshirt sophomore, out the last 2 years with ACL injuries. Shot clock is down to 20. Rose with the face dodge. Swings it to Gallagher. Shot clock to 10. Sherlambides, 5 now to shoot. Wiggles around, misfires wide. Rutgers does reclaim possession, a new shot clock. Oh, and they run out of time. They had 1 to shoot, couldn't get one off.
Fairfield did a nice job there, one-on-one matchups. Nobody from Rutgers could win the matchup, force them to slide, so everybody stayed home. And that's something to watch for without a guy like Mullins, who's going to be the guy that takes the ball in his stick, initiates the offense, creates that slide, and makes Fairfield start to rotate.
Yeah, Mullins and Sherlambides both named to the Tewaaraton watch list the other day. That list coming out after 1 month of this season is in the books in NCAA Division I lacrosse.
Early on right here, Fairfield offsides in the clearing game. Coach Copeland talked about that. That was one of the things that they needed to work on, only clearing at about 68%, which is not good in college lacrosse, and their first opportunity wasted and blown with the offsides.
Yeah, just 26 of 40 on the season through 2 games. Owen Mead getting the start today, 39 in red and black. The junior from Sparta, New Jersey. He had 2 goals against the Stags last year. Sherlambides leads the team in shots, firing through, and he scores downstairs on Corasanidi. Rutgers takes the lead here at Rafferty Stadium.
Nice job right here, getting this inside roll. Take a look here. He's going to drive left-handed. Didn't really get his defenseman high. That was a tough angle for Sherlambides, but nice job getting inside, getting just enough space. And we talked about it before, who's going to be the guy that's kind of step up for this Rutgers offense, and early it's Sherlambides with his first goal of the day.
He's now tied with Kieran Mullins for the most on the team with 12 in the 5th game of the season. He's a good story if he can bounce back after back-to-back years. Right ACL his freshman year, or after his freshman year, so his sophomore year theoretically in school. Then he injured his left ACL last year, so he's a redshirt sophomore at 22 years old. He put on a scene in his first year in the Big Ten, winning Freshman of the Year. So to see Sherlambides bouncing back in this redshirt sophomore campaign is good news. Another turnover by the Stags. The midfielders swing it back over midfield. Mark Cristiano, the short stick defensive midfielder. He's a senior from Cranford, New Jersey. And now Rutgers can take its time on offense. Here's Brennan Kamish. Shovels it to Tommy Coyne. Kicks out. Sanguinetti, left-handed spiraling shot. Saved by Coruscantini. Here comes the long pole for Fairfield. A whistling shot. It gets deflected. That was a rocket coming in there from Fairfield.
Just poor decision so far from Fairfield. D-man right there has got to draw that point, defenseman, start to move the ball, get it to the point attack, and let those guys do what they do on the offensive side. Kind of a forced shot, and then earlier before the last time, they had an opportunity to clear the ball, threw the ball away. So got to be careful on the clearing.
That was the long pole junior local product from Fairfield, Connecticut, Jake Timon, the Mercyhurst transfer. Here's Kamish. Off the pick. Nice swing. Coming in. Sanguinetti off the mark. Shot clock at 39. Rutgers backs it up. As we're 5 minutes into the opening quarter, Adam Sherlin-Beatties with the first score of this one. He's number 8 in the black. He possesses. Sherlin-Beatties has Gallagher on the crease. Keeps it himself. Upstairs to Kamish. Shot clock down to 15. Coyne, the righty. Sherlin-Beatties on the end line. Kamish, shot deflected in front. Still 6 seconds to shoot. They got the long pole on Rutgers now. 2 seconds to work with. No shot for Mark Shakti, the junior from Cary, North Carolina. Turnover, Scarlet Knights.
Good job by Fairfield defensively. Sherlin-Beatties got matched up with a short stick, did a good job of sliding, recovering, and taking away everything that Rutgers was trying to do offensively there.
Coach Andy Copeland, in his 11th season, told us that he was impressed with his team's bounce back. They had to play much harder against Sacred Heart after allowing 21 goals to St. Joseph's on the defensive end. Patrick Drake on the misdirection pass. Another turnover. Fairfield struggling early on the offensive end. About 5 to 6 inches of snow fell in Fairfield overnight. The plows are out here around 4 or 5 in the morning to clear out the snow. Originally a 1 o'clock face-off, moved to 3 p.m. Eastern. And there's an infraction from the far side, so Casey Rose gives it back to the Stags.
Rutgers defensively like to hold their slides, don't like to try to create offense for the opposing team. So what that means for Fairfield offensively, you've got to dominate and you've got to win one-on-one matchups. If you can't dodge and create your own shot to score, Rutgers is just going to be happy just staying at home, showing a little bit and not really overcommitting on their slide. So you got to win your one-on-one matchups. You got to dodge hard and dodge the score.
We're about midway through the opening quarter. Taylor Stroud, the sophomore, number 12 in white, gives to Drake, who had 4 goals in that win last game. A flag comes flying in after Drake dove on the doorstep. Right after the shot, we got a whistle.
I think I get a little cross check up high here at the end. You can take a look right there. Got him up in the neck. Can even see his helmet kind of got dislodged as well. So that's an easy call, cross check. He'll be going away for a minute.
So Fairfield goes on the man up. Steve struggling so far, just 1 for 5 on the season. Or rather, 5 for 10. They've had a great success on the man up. Rutgers has struggled, just 1 for 5 on the man up. Stags went 4 for 5 with the extra man on the field against Sacred Heart. Turnover this time. Nicely done.
Jack Thompson, nice stick there, getting his stick in the passing lane. When you're playing man down, you've got to have your stick up in the passing lane, looking for those skips, and Thompson did a nice job right there.
Thompson, a junior, from Madison, New Jersey. 2 caused turnovers now on the season. Sherlin Beatty's the true quarterback of this offense. Rose back to Tommy Coyne, who is a sophomore from Naperville, Illinois. Feed in front. Rutgers tried to sandwich a pass through the middle, attacking to the cage, instead a turnover. There's Jake Timon again. This time he stops on the brakes. He had that long pole shot from earlier. Nice dish to the doorstep by Kendall Cahey, and Fairfield is on the board. Brian Rita, the midfielder, came cutting in and finishes to tie it up at 1.
Nice job from Fairfield playing some early offense here. Every time they have cleared the ball, they've looked to go and create some transition and even turn these 5-on-5s or 6-on-5s into some early offense. And right there, Rita does a nice job hanging out on the backside. He's able to finish it left-handed. So good job by Fairfield playing some early offense, good ball movement, and nice finish from Rita.
That's his 4th of his freshman campaign from Pleasantville, New York. Former 2-time All-American. He also led New York State Section 1 in goals over his career with 278. One of Section 1's best of all time, Brian Rita. Fairfield found a good one. Frankie Labetti wins another face-off for the Stags. 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. We're tied up at 1. Thanks for joining us here on Lax Sports Network for one of 2 CAA games of the week. Fairfield setting up shop, 40 seconds on the shot clock. Stags are trying to win 2 straight here. It's the start of a 3-game homestand. Siena comes in next on Tuesday. Shot, it's wide. Saving cage there by Rutgers' Max Edelman, the redshirt senior from Middletown, Maryland. He has played the last 2 games after missing the first 2 due to injury for the Scarlet Knights. Ben Pounds, the freshman, has both of Rutgers' wins this year. Now the Scarlet Knights picking up the tempo. Cristiano, the short stick. Sherlin Beatty's faking.
This had to happen a bunch of times so far today. Sherlin Beatty's is getting these guys caught.
Squirts in for Sherlin Beatty's number 2 for the redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, I was saying he keeps getting his defenseman hung up. He's doing a nice job when the ball is moving. He's hanging right out at X. And he's able to get his defenseman hung up. And it's created some opportunities, and you can see the goal right there. And it was getting all started with him hanging up his defenseman and getting that advantage.
Sherlin Beatty's had just 1 goal last game. That was in the Loyola loss, up to 13 on the season. Now most of any Rutgers player this year, the former Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2016. That season he had 43 goals. That was the 5th most in a single season in Rutgers history. 2-1 Scarlet Knights. Jack Thompson goes to Edelman to help him clear the ball.
Good job by Fairfield here in the ride.
Barely got it over. 20 seconds to clear it, and they did so. That new shot clock rule. Kamish feeds to Sherlin Beatty's. He has dominated the ball for Rutgers so far.
Fairfield switching all picks. This is the 2nd time now that Sherlin Beatty's gotten a short stick matchup. Fairfield going to be probably quick to go here. But again, switching on all picks. Obviously don't seem to be too concerned with their matchups. Want to make sure they're playing that 2-man game.
Sherlin Beatty's had Wukta on him a moment ago. Tyler Wukta, a freshman from Garden City, New York. Plops out of bounds. Fresh shot clock up to 80 now to shoot for Rutgers. Brian Crawley for Fairfield was out there. Shot and a save by Corasanity. He's trying to find a rhythm after allowing 2 to Sherlin Beatties in these opening 12 minutes. Ball sails at midfield. Nice diving effort by Rutgers, by Owen Mead, the two-way midi. The long pole, Zach Masessa, number 3 in the red and black, picks it up for Rutgers to have another offensive set. There's Ryan Gallagher, number 34 in the black. He gets the start in place of the injured Kieran Mullins. Gallagher, a sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. They swing it back up top. Sanguinetti on the skip feed. Loose in front. And it's grabbed by Fairfield, the sophomore starting defenseman from Southlake, Texas, George Elmquist.
And here's where they've struggled today and all season long, is with this clear.
As Steve mentioned earlier, just 67% so far through 2 games. In college lacrosse, not a good percentage.
Changes the whole mentality of a game. I think defensively, you get a stop, you know, and you try to get it the other end, and it comes right back in your face. And even the offensive guys, they start to get frustrated because they want to get the ball and they want to play and try to help the team. So when you can't clear the ball, it really affects both ends of the field.
Beckwith, bounce shot. It's picked up from behind by Brian Rita, who scored earlier. Rita blasts one wide. Well, what makes a good clearing team? How do you gain success clearing the ball?
Well, first you need defensemen that can handle the ball, right? So you're putting those guys in a position where they've got to handle it, make passes, be able to throw those overs, and sometimes throw a deep pass. You need a good, sound goalie, someone that can communicate on the clear. And then the other part is just spacing. You've got an extra guy. You've got to space it out and find out where that attackman is covering. And that's the guy you want to take advantage of and try and clear the ball.
Travis Ford mishandled the pass after Fairfield backed it up. Here comes Strow on the doorstep. It's Rita, but another save for Edelman. Rutgers wants to push. Up the field to Garrett Michaeli, number 40. He's a senior from Draper, Utah. And he can leave the field as the offense trickles on for the Scarlet Knights. Casey Rose, number 20. One of the best leaders in Rutgers program history under Brian Brecht, the 8th-year head coach. Rose, the 2018 Big Ten Sportsmanship Award nominee for the Scarlet Knights. Sprock throws it over to Gallagher. Sprock is number 0, reaching for it, fight for the ground ball. Fairfield pulls away. Brian Cosgrove, the long pole, comes up with it. Stags attacking, 2 seconds to fire, and the first quarter has come to a close at Conway Field inside Rafferty Stadium. 2 goals for Adam Sherlin Beatties, fighting back from injury these last 2 years. He is putting on a show right now in Fairfield, Connecticut. 2-1, Rutgers in front of Fairfield, right here on Lax Sports Network. Come back for the second. Welcome back to Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Max Edelman with 5 saves for the Scarlet Knights. So far, so good for the senior, Steve.
Defense has been very good in front of them. We talked about it early in the first quarter, how Fairfield's got to win those one-on-one matchups. Otherwise, Rutgers is not going to slide, and they're just going to play one-on-one lacrosse and give up those types of shots. So give credit to the goalie. Done a nice job so far, but the defense in front of him has done a nice job as well.
So far, Fairfield has won 3 of 4 face-offs, make it 4 for 5 for Frankie Labetti, the sophomore from Morristown, New Jersey. He ranked top 20 in the nation in face-off percentage coming in. Granted, just 2 games for the Stags coming into today. And now Strow possesses the ball up top for the Stags, number 12 in the white. This Fairfield team averaging 11 goals per game through 2 games. Allowed 21 to St. Joseph's in its opener. Shot missiled wide. That was Brendan Quinn, the senior captain, who has 1 goal this season. Fairfield playing without Colin Burke. Coach Copeland told us on the phone earlier this week that the redshirt senior is going to use his 5th year of eligibility elsewhere. He provided the scoring punch for the Stags these last few years. So guys like Beckwith, Quinn, the freshman Drake have a lot on their plate offensively.
Fairfield's gonna have to find some 6-on-6 offense here. Rutgers has done a really nice job against them. They're gonna have to either use a 2-man game, maybe start dodging off the wings, try to work maybe an invert, get some short sticks behind, but they're gonna have to change it up a little bit because right now Rutgers has got them off balance.
Fairfield did not convert on its lone man-up opportunity in that first quarter. Rutgers has been a good man-down defense this year, holding opponents now 2 for 11 on the season. Here's the right-hander Coyne, or rather that's Sprock. Has it back, number 0. Adam Sherlin-Beatties has both goals for the Scarlet Knights so far. Entry underneath the cage to Gallagher. Getting the start today with Mullins out due to injury. Feet on the doorstep as he whistled a pass over his shoulder. Coruscant Itty with the save. Fairfield on the attack. That was Cahey who had the assist earlier to Brian Rita. Kendall Cahey, a short stick defensive midfielder, a senior captain for Fairfield. Stags clear seamlessly now.
Let's see what Fairfield does offensively. Like I said before, struggling a little bit here, looking like a little wing dodge.
It's Kyle Borda with the ball.
And there's the pick right there, trying to get a little work, a little 2-man game there. Really keeping the ball up top, using those picks up top, almost like an umbrella with the 4 guys, basically a 4-on-4 up top.
Barnard misfires, now back on the doorstep, another save by Edelman. An off-balance shot by Brian Crawley, but Edelman was not fooled.
That's a great save by Edelman. I mean, right there, Fairfield finally gets a really good opportunity, a good look, and he just makes an incredible save, and that's a sloppy turnover right there.
Max Edelman, preseason All Big Ten by Inside Lacrosse. 3-on-2 break. Beckwith coming in. His shot was deflected. A race for the backup. Stays with the Stags.
And
Rutgers defense.
And Rutgers got lucky there too, because you get Beckwith with a 1-on-1 with no slide coming and a full head of steam. Good stick check there on him, but that's a good look. You'll take that if you're Fairfield.
Stags now attacking downhill. Coming through, that shot off the crossbar. Edelman also got a piece of it. Kyle Borda, the freshman midfielder, with that shot. Stags keep possession. And a new shot clock, 80 seconds. Shot wide as Edelman watches it glaze by him. That was Borda. Or Barnard, pardon me. Cole Barnard, the sophomore from Mill Neck, New York. Well, Fairfield still trying to figure out its identity. Both teams are in non-conference play. 5th game of the season for Rutgers. Just the 3rd game for Fairfield. Off the pick, it's Crawley, number 44. Beckwith, the lefty, throws one wide.
And I think that's where they got to go. They got to go with Beckwith. He's their best athlete. He's their best dodger, change of direction guy. Let him attack from up top and create for your offense.
No points so far, but 3 shots for Dylan Beckwith. The junior has had 7 points last game against Sacred Heart, 2 goals, 5 assists.
Good opportunity right here for him.
Beckwith coming off the Crawley screen. Getting harassed right now by Kyle Pless. A Big Ten defensive player to watch. He's coming off Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week honors from back in the early part of February. Pless from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. He is a senior for a Rutgers team that lost many defensemen to graduation, including Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, Michael Rexroad. Another tough shot for the Stags. They do back it up. Shot clock is down to 5.
See what they do here. Probably buried in the corner, yep. And this is a great opportunity now with college lacrosse. When you buried in the corner, I think all coaching staffs and all teams should have a set ride, something that you can get into, whether it's a 10-man or some kind of a look that you can kind of take advantage, because you have time to get your guys on and sub, and again set up a really good ride and try to get that ball back. So I think you got to use those opportunities of when you do bury it in the corner, try to set something up so you can kind of create that turnover and get some early offense and transition off of a clear.
And you feel more teams are doing that nowadays with the way rules have been constructed?
I would think so. I mean, it's a great opportunity. You know, you bury it in the corner, you have an automatic call, maybe jump to a 10-man, and now you're putting the pressure right back onto that team.
Underneath the cage, now to the end line, Tommy Coyne. David Sprock draws a double team, intercepted. Jake Timon, the long pole, has been active today for Fairfield. Dishes to Beckwith. Now Timon's going to stay on the field. Number 46 has a couple of caused turnovers early, but Fairfield gives it right back. Nope, they'll hold on. Beckwith kept it the whole time. Strow also out there with the captain, Quinn. Drake, the freshman. Dodging, splits the defense and scores. Albie hit the back of the net. Mom goal.
Mom goal, that's right. It's too cold.
Hey,
but it's
get
too
my
cold.
first one out of the way this year.
It's too cold for the moms to start cheering here today. I didn't see any of them start clapping.
Oh man, I was hoping I didn't do that. 2-1. Rutgers still in front as we're about midway through the second.
We forgive you. It's okay.
And on the feed, there's a flag after that pass sailed right by Gallagher.
Little push. 32nd.
First time we'll see Rutgers on the on the man up. 1 for 5 this season. Just 5 opportunities and 1 finish. We talked to Coach Brecht on the phone this week.
Penalty assessment, Fairfield's number 15.
And it's Quinn who's going to serve the penalty. We have to assert ourselves more and attack more and take advantage of these chances when we get them, but just 5 opportunities through 4 games is awfully low.
Right now in an open set, watch for someone's going to cut, eventually get to that crease. There you go. Now they're working out of basically a 2-2-2. And that's just a tough pass on the inside.
Turnover generated by Kendall Cahey. He's been active today. Also Sean Sweeney, the freshman in there from Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. A starter through 3 games for the Stags. Now it's Samuel Murphy who clears the ball for Fairfield. He's from Cohasset, Massachusetts. We got a timeout taken by the Stags. Midway through the second quarter, we'll step aside from Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Rutgers holding on to a 1-goal lead, still no scoring here in the second. Come back with us for more CAA Game of the Week action on Lax Sports Network.
Hey everybody, Tom Eschen here in the LSN studios. All season long, we're tracking the Player of the Year watch here on Lax Sports Network. This week, Yale faceoff man T.D. Erlin. In a top 6 matchup over the weekend, the Albany transfer went 25 of 31 with 22 ground balls against Penn State. It's 81% at the X. Not a bad way to continue making a first impression on your new team. Possibly the most impressive part about it is he did it against another preseason All-American in Gerard Arceri. Entering this week, Erlin led the nation, winning nearly 77% at the faceoff X, coming off a season when he broke the single-season record for faceoff win percentage while at Albany. Stay tuned all year long as we continue to track the Player of the Year race here on LSN. Now, let's get you back out to the game.
Welcome back to Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. We have another look at this great feed in front, but Max Edelman says not today. Brian Crowley just snipes it away. He's up to 7 saves this afternoon.
And he's done a good job. A lot of his saves have been in tight, kind of goal-saving saves. I mean, I guess they're all goal-saving saves, but some of his have been really good opportunities from Fairfield that he shut the door on. And you take a look there at Fairfield. Nice job jumping that pass. Able to create that caused turnover for Jack Timon. And, you know, no goals so far. Both teams are kind of settling in. Both defenses playing pretty well right now. Like to see some different things out of the offenses. Both sides, I think, had to change it up a little bit, a little change of pace, because I think both defenses have gotten very comfortable going against what they've been seeing basically all game long.
What about Fairfield? What specifically can they do here offensively that you'd like to see more? Go through Beckwith?
I like Beckwith. I think if you can dodge on the opposite side, curl, send it over the top to him, and then let him go off of that opposite side there. Maybe the slide's not in position yet. Get him involved with some picks maybe, because a guy with that type of speed just needs a little bit of a half a step and maybe a little pick on ball for him to get him free.
He's up top right now, number 22 in white for the Stags. Nice check there by the short stick. Cristiano, number 18 for Rutgers. Fairfield sticks with it. Stags trying to go to 2-1 and win their second straight game. Rutgers trying to halt a 2-game losing streak. Losses to Army and Loyola at home. Bounce shot by Beckwith, ill-advised. And picked up by Jack Thompson, who's been active for the Scarlet Knights. Pushes the ball up the field. Cristiano, the shorty, throws it to Michaeli, the long stick. That shot was well wide, but Rutgers there to back it up. As we approach 6 minutes to go in this first half. Still no goals in this quarter. Adam Sherlin-Beatties, the former Big Ten Freshman of the Year back in 2016, has both Rutgers goals. And Brian Rita has the lone goal for the Fairfield Stags.
And Fairfield seems to be okay with getting hung up here behind the net and letting Rutgers play like this. Every time.
And a score in front. Scarlet Knights tack on another. Owen Mead with the finish. Like we told you earlier, he had 2 last year against the Stags in Piscataway on the board here in Fairfield, Connecticut to make it 3-1.
So again, Rutgers keeps hanging up these Fairfield defensemen, and they're allowing them to do that. The defenseman is so high helping up on the crease that if Rutgers wants, they can take advantage of that all day long because Fairfield's giving it to them. They've done a nice job of covering it most of the game, but right there, Rutgers did a nice job. Guys off ball, cutting, getting open, and Mead was able to finish it. So something interesting to watch with Fairfield, again, allowing and letting Rutgers get their defensemen hung up and have all day back there to kind of pick them apart.
Former New Jersey Herald Player of the Year back in 2016 at Sparta High School. Wednesday nights on Lax Sports Network, it's CAA Press Pass. We will bring you all the latest news and notes from around the conference and prepare you for the biggest games of the week. CAA Press Pass on Lax Sports Network every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Rutgers has scored 3 of the game's 4 goals. There's a flag as the sun now shines on Conway Field. The officials are going to talk it over. Did you catch anything there, Steve?
Oh, no, I didn't. Can't lie.
And we'll get word here momentarily. Brian Brecht has removed his winter hat to discuss things with the officiating crew. David Pinciero, Paul Quill, James Vignoa are today's officials.
we get an answer?
Looks like they picked the flag back up. Inadvertent flag, perhaps?
No.
Rutgers has an extra man on the field, and shot clock is going to be reset. We can hear that down on field level. We never got an explanation, but it is 6-on-5 for Fairfield. Second man-up chance for the Scarlet, man up for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights here.
I think we're even.
Okay, yep, you're right.
We are even.
Sherlin Beatties was in front of one of the white jerseys along the end line, so yeah, we do have 6-on-6.
Looks like it was an inadvertent flag.
We have sunlight in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Fairfield playing a zone right now.
Coin. Now it's Rose. Underneath to Gallagher, getting the start for the injured Kieran Mullins. He is out for the second straight game. The team's leading scorer and Tewaaraton Watch finalist. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Sherlin Beatties to Rose, whistles a shot, save in front. Nicely job as it's plowed out by Cora Siniti, the freshman from New York City. Well, Coach Andy Copeland very excited about his freshman goalie. He thinks they found an answer for the next 4 years. That's how much confidence he has in Cora Siniti, coming off his first career win at Sacred Heart. He was named CAA Rookie of the Week due to his performance.
Well, you know they have confidence in him when you go to a zone. When you're willing to just pack it in and let your goalie see shots from the outside, that shows a lot of confidence in that young man. So obviously he's up to the task, and Fairfield did a nice job playing zone defense there and gave up one of those outside rips.
So Fairfield uses another timeout. Just over 4 minutes to go in this first half. Brendan Glasheen and former Syracuse All-American Steve Panarelli with you at Conway Field inside Rafferty Stadium. Rutgers is 2-2. Fairfield is 1-1. We haven't talked about this yet, the weather implications when you have to play in the cold. I know you played in the Carrier Dome, so you had it easy, I suppose, in your home games. But how difficult is it to come out here beginning of March and stay warm and stay active?
I think it's one of those things when you're in the game, you don't think about it. I think one time, though, I do remember when we played Cornell on a Tuesday night, and it was early in the year, and it was so cold that when the ball was on the opposite end, both the attackman and the defenseman, we were literally resting our sticks on our hips or on our shoulders. We didn't want to grab it because the metal on the shafts were so cold. And I remember after that game, everybody just ran off the field. Nobody even wanted to play by the fourth quarter. Everybody was kind of tapped out, done. It was that cold.
Everyone except you.
Except for me, yeah. I was running out of there. And it was so foggy that night, too. You could barely see the other side of what was going on in the field. So that was one game I do specifically remember, but I was spoiled, like all Syracuse alum, that I got to play in a nice weather-controlled environment, so I didn't have too many of those stories.
Well, Rutgers also used to it in Piscataway. They traveled 67 miles northeast to head to Fairfield, Connecticut. 4th straight year these two teams are getting together. Rutgers has won 3 straight. The two squads met back in the early 2000s, from 2006 through 2009, when Fairfield and Rutgers were both part of the ECAC. 9th meeting overall. 1 goal here in this second quarter belongs to Owen Mead of Rutgers. On the doorstep, nice defense by the Scarlet Knights. They come in to break things up, and that leads to transition the other way. Shot missiled wide by the shorty Cristiano. Oh, great defense on the other end by Rutgers defenseman Garrett Bullitt, former Under Armour All-American nominee at Corner Canyon High School. in Draper, Utah. On the doorstep, another score. Ryan Gallagher got the call to start today for the injured Kieran Mullins, and he puts one home, his second goal of the season.
You're right, it started with good defense from Rutgers. Defense to offense, give them the ball. You take a look right here at Gallagher, just an inside roll, and it's something that's happened a few times to Fairfield. They're actually in very good position defensively. They just got to get more physical on the corner there because they don't have much of an angle when they inside roll. Usually when an inside roll happens, a guy takes you really high and he's able to create space, inside roll you, and he's got to see the whole net. These guys are inside rolling at or below goal line extended. So that, to me, the defenseman just got to get physical there, got to get his hands on him, be on his hip and driving him, and you can easily take that play away. But give credit to Rutgers.
Score the other way. Fairfield's first of this quarter. The face-off man, Frankie Labetti, who had the first shot of this game. He gives Fairfield some life.
And Fairfield needed this. They needed this little spark right here. The Fogo pulls it out the front, does a good job of corralling the ball. And I think because he gained possession so late, I don't know if Rutgers defensively was really communicating on what to do there, whether they should have went to him or not, because he possessed it so late there. But give him credit. Labetti did a nice job finishing and got a much-needed goal for this Fairfield offense. It's the first goal of the second quarter, correct?
For the Stags, yes. Second overall, or rather third overall between the two teams. It was 2-1 at the end of the first. Sherlin Beatties had 2 goals for the Scarlet Knights. For Labetti, that's his first shot, first goal of the season, his third shot attempt of the year. Last season, he didn't take any face-offs. He set Fairfield records last game against Sacred Heart. 21 face-off wins, tied a program record in a single game. He also had 15 ground balls against the Pioneers. Meade throws it back to Casey Rose on the door. Sherlin Beatties now directing traffic from beneath, trying to find his angle. Sherlin Beatties, spin dodge, tosses it wide, race to back up the ball. Gallagher is there.
Gave him a fresh 80 there, but...
Yeah, I was just going to ask you why they might have done that.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Everyone, well, see, everyone is still getting used to these new
yeah,
rules.
Exactly.
Very evident. Just a month and change into the season.
Yeah, they put it back to 25.
So Rutgers has spread it around now. Gallagher's got a goal. Meade going for his second. It just trickled by the doorstep. Fairfield bodies flailing in for that loose ball, and it's picked up by the Stags. Long pole Lucas Peterson. He's a sophomore from Washington. Stags have struggled to clear in the early part of the season. They try to do so successfully, not this time. Another failed clear as the ball is plucked up by Garrett Michaeli.
And you asked me early in the game what was the key to good clearing. What was the first thing I said? It's about defensemen that can handle the ball, and I think Fairfield's defensemen have probably been what's been the problem for them clearing the ball. Watching them early, they don't handle it very smoothly, don't really make the right looks, make everything look very difficult, even the most simple passes. So I think those guys have got to clean up their sticks and handle the ball a little bit better.
It's a group that has no seniors on the closed defense for Andy Copeland. He does have 2 veteran short stick defensive midfielders in Samuel Murphy and Kendall Cahey, but after that it's a very young defense on that Fairfield side. Fired up, a flag comes in as players barrel into the sideline. We said from the start of this one, a little rivalry has developed between the Stags and Scarlet Knights. This is Murphy getting ridden here by Casey Rose to the ground. Fairfield heading to its second man up of this game. Pushing on Rose.
And that's a tough call. You know, you're riding the guy, you're trying to use that sideline as a defenseman, you're trying to use that sideline as your friend. And he never really extended his arms. He never really pushed. It was kind of like even pressure, I thought. But definitely got him from behind in the back. I can see the officials making that call.
Third man up of this game overall, second for the Stags. 0 for 1 back in the early stages of the first quarter. Beckwith is the quarterback of the offense. He's 22 with the ball. On the feed, Rita rockets one over the crossbar.
Nothing fancy from Fairfield here, just working out of a 3-3. If you're going to just sit in a set, it's about ball movement. It's about getting those defensive to get out, get to your hands so that when you move it, they're slow to recover and get back on the inside. That's when skip pass is open. But give credit to Rutgers, able to kill that penalty. And now we're back to 6-on-6 with 40 on the shot clock.
And 8 on the game clock. Beckwith coming in. Stick check from behind, disrupted that release. Now 4.7 seconds. Travis Ford and Beckwith have had chances here on this man up. From behind, feed in front, a shot and a save, Edelman. He denies Jack Brennan on the man up, and that is how the first half concludes at Conway Field inside Rafferty Stadium. Rutgers up 4-2.
Good job by Rutgers defensively. They really did a nice job in that first half. Fairfield got a good opportunity here late, and Edelman does a nice job standing tall and making the save. Rutgers 4-2 here at half.
Getting set for the second half, third quarter between Rutgers and Fairfield on LSN. Start your lacrosse Saturdays with LSN College Central on Lax Sports Network. Beginning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern every week, we will get you ready for all the biggest games of the weekend from around the country. Don't let your game day begin without checking out LSN College Central, only on Lax Sports Network. Brendan Glasheen with former Syracuse All-American Steve Panarelli. Thanks for hanging out with us today at Conway Field inside Rafferty Stadium. Steve, if you could give me a key for each of these teams to come out victorious after these next 30 minutes, can you give me a couple?
I think Rutgers got to find some transition. They like to get up and down and run. Got to find some easy goals. Give Fairfield a lot of credit. Been mixing between man and zone. They've done a nice job defensively against them on the 6-on-6. So find some goals in transition and try to separate yourself right now from Fairfield. And if you're Fairfield, offensively, we've got to find something. We've got to find a matchup that works for us. We've got to try to create some opportunities by getting our guys open. Again, whether it's off picks, some set plays, maybe an invert set and a big little behind. They've got to do something offensively to get their hands free, because every shot that they've really taken has been difficult. And it hasn't been easy on them. So offensively, they got to find a rhythm and find something that works for them.
Labetti against Alex Schoen at the face-off X. Fairfield went 5 for 8 in that first half. Labetti also scored a goal off the wing as he plucked his own ground ball. He does so here, off to a great start this season. The top 20 face-off percentage in the country. And to your point, Fairfield 2 goals on 10 shots on goal. Dylan Beckwith got off 6 shots, but nothing to show for it.
No, none of the shots have really been great looks or great opportunities. Again, they've had to work for everything and work really hard. So they've got to find some kind of a rhythm here. And again, either find a matchup that works for them or some kind of a set that they can get some action out of and get some easier looks.
Stags trying to halt a 3-game losing streak to this Rutgers program. 4th straight year these two programs get together. 9th overall. Turnover by the Stags. We have Rutgers fans sitting right in front of us. They applaud. Rutgers coming out fast and furious to begin this third quarter, as Cristiano hands off to Sherlin-Beatties. Now the shorty wants to go to work. Cristiano feeds underneath to Gallagher, who scored a goal in that first half. Sherlin-Beatties had 2 goals and an assist. He's up to 13 goals and 5 assists for 18 points on the season. The other goal scorers for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights: Owen Mead, we mentioned Gallagher. Fairfield had 2 goals. Labetti, the face-off man, and Rita, the midfielder. Shot clock down to 30. Gallagher had it plopped out. Nicely done by the Fairfield defense, George Elmquist. But the Scarlet Knights hold on.
Elmquist with a nice check there, a little what we call a ding-dong. He brought his stick over the head, thought he was going over the head, and then brings it straight back down, able to catch that, get it on the ground, but unfortunately Fairfield couldn't come up with it and clear it.
Elmquist attended Carroll Senior High School in Southlake, Texas. He was an all-state selection his senior year. U.S. Lacrosse All-American back in 2017. Here's Sprock, feed, shot, score! A missile from Owen Mead, his second of the afternoon, and Rutgers goes up 5-2.
Take a look here. Who's on that feed there?
This is Sprock.
Sprock. It was a great feed right there to find Mead. Really nice job. Fairfield's in great position. Man wasn't beat, just a little late getting out, but a really nice look from Sprock and able to get that ball through the center of the defense, and then Mead was able to finish it. So give a lot of credit to Sprock right there on finding Mead and, again, getting that ball through the defense. Nice job.
Mead enjoys playing Fairfield. He had 2 goals last year in Piscataway when the 2 teams got together. And today he's got 2 goals in these opening minutes of the 3rd quarter. After the infraction at the face-off X, it is Rutgers' possession.
And right now, every goal for Rutgers, you feel like if you can extend this lead, it's almost going to become impossible for Fairfield at some point to come back just the way they've played offensively here today. So if you're Rutgers, you want to keep it going, keep trying to extend this lead here and try to score as many as you can before Fairfield can answer. Because, again, you got to feel very confident in the way your defense and goalie are playing here today.
Rutgers needs a win after losing 2 straight games to top 20 teams in the country. Number 19, Army, and number 1, Loyola, both at home. Upstairs, Kamish fires, bounce shot, and a save by Coruscant, trying to get his confidence back after allowing a quick one to begin the 3rd quarter.
Nice save from Corsiniti right there. Tough bounce shot. Did a good job of getting down, smothering that ball. It's a really nice save by the freshman.
Up to 7 saves. He had 18 against Sacred Heart in his first career win last week. It was a big bounce-back win for 11th-year head coach Andy Copeland and his team after allowing 21 to St. Joseph's to open the season right here at Rafferty Stadium. Off the pick, Patrick Drake, the freshman, dishes to Beckwith. His lane shut down. Brendan Quinn swings it. A little opening for Barnard. Bounce shot from the outside, save. Travis Ford off the mark. Edelman now has 9 saves for Rutgers.
Another great defensive possession from Rutgers. Dominated all their one-on-one matchups, and then at the end gave up a long-distance shot that the guy wasn't really stepping down into, so easy save from Edelman.
Last year, Max Edelman had a 9.5 goals against average, a save percentage north of 50%. Granted a 5th year of eligibility at the beginning of the fall. It was great news for this Rutgers team, as we talked about, lost a lot of talent in the defensive midfield and also on the closed defense. So to have Edelman leading the charge with this young team is a great sign. Rutgers gets the ball back. Fairfield, another missed opportunity on the clear.
And that's just another defenseman just throwing the ball to a covered guy. Didn't really have much pressure on him. Just, you could tell they're quick to want to get the ball out of their stick. They don't play with confidence with the ball in their stick, so that they're quick to get it out, and sometimes that forces you to make bad decisions and, again, throw to guys that are covered.
Stags now 11 of 17 clearing the ball. Rutgers, for comparison, a perfect 16 for 16. And the trend so far, clearly, Rutgers has dominated possession. Sprock, a step-down shot. Corasaniti is bailing out Fairfield right now to start this quarter.
Oh, absolutely. Without him, this is easily, a 5 or a 6 goal lead. He's really kept them in this game, and they've played a lot of defense. And here's another failed clear, and this is exactly why.
Sherlin-Beatty's coming in, full head of steam. Corasaniti was backpedaling inside the crease, back between the pipes. So it is Rutgers ball, some boos from the Fairfield fans, and that sideline is fired up. That has to be very frustrating for that Fairfield coaching staff. Another mishap on the clear. Is experience just the simple way to put that, as far as developing the confidence to clear the ball and possess the ball in your stick?
It doesn't hurt. I mean, obviously experience helps, but I just think it's guys that just have to be comfortable and all right with handling the ball. I just, again, I don't feel like they're confident with the ball in their stick, and they're all quick to get it out. And let's take a look here.
Yeah, Sherlin-Beatty's bobbles it. Tell you what, the Poles have been active, at least causing havoc defensively. Fairfield's had some success. A turnover, Sanguinetti threw it over the head of Coyne. It's simply just clearing the ball now at this point. They're doing a great job generating mishaps and ground balls.
They're handling the first part of their job, which is playing defense, right? And creating bad shots and creating turnovers, and they've done that. The second part of your job as a defenseman, a defensive midfielder, and a goalie is to clear the ball, and that's the only part that they've struggled in. Otherwise, playing 6-on-6 defense, they've done a great job here today.
Stags break the timeline this time. Again, the new rules in college lacrosse. You have 20 seconds to clear the ball over midfield. New shot clock implemented in the offseason, 80 seconds. It's down to 50 right now for the Stags. Brendan Quinn, the captain. Swings it to Travis Ford. CAA All-Rookie selection 2 years ago, along with Dylan Beckwith. Andy Copeland trying to get his team back to the top of the CAA after winning Coach of the Year in 2015. In 2016, the Stags shared the CAA regular season title with Towson. But it's been 2 straight years Fairfield's missed the CAA tournament. Picked 6th in the preseason poll. On defense once again. Rutgers tied for 4th in the preseason poll in the Big Ten with Ohio State. Rose, lefty, fires and scores! Casey Rose, the redshirt senior, with his 4th of the season. A wide open look from upstairs. Rutgers increases the lead to 4.
And eventually you're going to crack as a defense when you play this much on your end of the field. And Rose, they just find them over the top of the defense. I think Fairfield was a little late getting that 6th man on the field. You could see him coming into your picture a little late here, coming into the box. And again, Rose does a nice job left-handed and able to finish it from the outside.
Rutgers up 2-0 in this quarter. Score was 4-2 at halftime. Talked about Casey Rose's impact in that locker room with Rutgers. Big Ten Sportsmanship Award nominee last season, representing the Scarlet Knights. He's another player who attended Corner Canyon High School in Utah. He's one of 3 players on the team, including Garrett Michaeli and Garrett Bullitt, to attend that high school. Brian Brecht has had success recruiting Utah. Funny enough, the Stags will be hosting the Utah Utes in a couple of weeks. Saved by Edelman on a rather easy shot there by Ford. Rutgers clears the ball from left to right. They're working it. Telegraphed that shot. It looked like Ford made it look easy. Edelman, rather, made it look easy on Ford.
Tracked it the whole way. He was all over that ball.
Under 6 minutes to go here in the third. Rutgers has come out looking for a bounce-back effort after losing to #1 Loyola last Saturday at home. On the road here in Fairfield, Connecticut. Some extra passing. Sherlin-Beatty's dodges to his right, draws a double team. Now it's Mark Shakti. The junior flips it to Gallagher. Coming in, Gallagher fires. It was poked out by one of the defensemen for Fairfield. Still loose. And after an infraction, Rutgers does keep the ball.
Yep, loose ball push.
Coyne out on the field with Kamish, Sherlimbides, Sanguinetti, 14, hanging out in the middle. Now he creeps out. Sherlimbides swings it, shot Kamish, whistles wide. He lost his stick after the release. Kamish from Wixom, Michigan, has no goals on the season, but 8 shots. Shot clock is at 50. Rutgers has scored the 2 goals of this quarter. And a misdirection feed by the sophomore Michael Sanguinetti. Possession to Fairfield. Well, those mishaps by Rutgers, Steve, offensively, have kept Fairfield hanging around in this game.
They're in the game for sure. They've got to find ways to I think, get some easy ones. You know, maybe get out in transition. They've done a nice job of causing some turnovers. Got to let that lead to some early offense. And again, a biggest part, I think, even that adds to this. Obviously, Rutgers is playing great defensively. Edelman's done a nice job in the net, but just the amount of possessions they've had, and that again can be attributed to a lot of those missed opportunities on failed clears. So it's always, you know, when you only have 2 goals in the middle of the third quarter, it's usually a couple things that add up to that.
Nice move by Barnard. His lane shut down. As Steve mentioned, Rutgers has been terrific defensively. Fairfield gets the ball back. It's Quinn. One thing Andy Copeland told us this week, Rutgers doesn't do a lot of sliding on defense. Nice look on the doorstep. Drake could not complete the feed from doorstep to doorstep. And the other question Coach Copeland had, not just for us, but for himself, can we score non-assisted goals? Edelman, another save.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Rutgers hasn't slid, at most, maybe they slid maybe 2 or 3 times at all today. So one-on-one, they've dominated those matchups, and Fairfield has not been able to, again, create their own shot and score those unassisted goals.
Edelman just made another save. He's up to 10. Last year in Piscataway, when these two teams met, Edelman had 12 saves and allowed just 7 goals. It was a 12-7 win for Rutgers. 2 years ago, here in Fairfield, Connecticut, the Scarlet Knights won 8-3. They've won 3 games in a row in this series. Owen Mead, number 39, has 2 goals. Sherlimbides has 2. Nice extra pass to Coyne. Gallagher. Nice ball movement here by Rutgers. Shot clock down to 20. Sherlimbides the fake. Rose up top. Mead the pass. Shot wide. Tommy Coyne, a bullet. Shot clock is at 11.
Fairfield back in their zone, this whole possession or played zone. That's why you see Rutgers moving around from the outside and trying to get those outside shots.
It's 5 to shoot now. Gallagher. Feet upstairs. Shot soars over the crossbar. Nice idea by Rose. It worked earlier for the redshirt senior. And he runs to the sideline. As we approach 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Rutgers, in all but one of their games so far this season, has allowed less, or rather more than 10 goals. They allowed just 8 in the season opening win against Lafayette. They allowed 15 at St. John's, 10 to Army, and 13 to number 1 Loyola. Today, just 2 goals allowed through a bulk of this contest. It's a young defense under Brian Brecht. He's been very pleased, and I think you got to give some credit to Dan Kochi, first-year defensive coordinator after spending many years at Towson. Has brought these young defensive players along.
And again, you can see Rutgers here just showing the help. And there's a good check right there. But again, the show has discouraged these Fairfield Dodgers and caused them to turn and move the ball on. Sometimes you just got to run through that show and really make that guy commit and slide to you, and then you could spin the ball.
Barnard skips it, and Drake fires wide. The freshman can't come through. He had 4 goals last game. Patrick Drake from Wilmington, Delaware. And now Rutgers can hold for the final shot of this quarter.
Back outside.
They clear it successfully. They've been perfect today clearing the ball. Rutgers came into this one a clearing percentage of 84. Today, 18 of 19. 25 seconds on the game clock.
I think Fairfield's back in their zone again, using their 2 short sticks in the middle. Getting as many pulls on the outside as they can. So, again, back in this zone, passing guys on.
Cherlimbides, tough shot. Throws one wide, 9 seconds. Rutgers is doing all of this without Kieran Mullins, out for his 2nd straight game. The star junior. 4 seconds. Shot wide from Tommy Coyne. Now just a smidge under 2 seconds for the Scarlet Knights. Gallagher has the ball. Chucks it in, deflected, and the quarter comes to a close. We make the turn for home at Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Rutgers with the lone goals. Just 2 scored in the quarter, ahead 6-2 on Fairfield. You're watching the CAA Game of the Week on Lax Sports Network. Welcome back to the campus of Fairfield University, Conway Field inside Rafferty Stadium. Rutgers on the road against the Fairfield Stags, ahead 6-2. Don't forget tonight, folks, 9 p.m. Eastern. Lacrosse Now, the only place you can get a complete roundup from the entire lacrosse world every night. Lacrosse happens 365 days a year, and we have you covered on all of them with news, highlights, and analysis you can't find anywhere else. Lacrosse Now every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Lax Sports Network. 4th quarter is underway. Brendan Glasheen with Steve Panarelli. Thanks for hanging with us this afternoon in Fairfield, Connecticut. Rutgers, Steve, doing it in all facets. Offensively, getting contributions from many. Cherlimbides, Rose had a goal, Meade has 2, and then defensively, their poles, their shorties getting involved. Edelman has 10 saves.
Yeah, we talked about both teams trying to find themselves in this early part of the year. Both have struggled with injuries, a little bit of up and down here in the early start. And Rutgers is starting to put it all together and looking really strong here today.
Yeah, the Scarlet Knights trying to get sharp as they play Princeton at home next week at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Princeton receiving votes in the latest IL media poll. Big Ten opener for Rutgers not until the end of March at Ohio State. March the 31st. Fairfield has Siena next on Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Still a lot of time, though, to get ready for conference play. And while we say that, it will come very quickly. Brendan Quinn, a bounce shot. Skips wide off of Edelman. And the Stags, or rather the Scarlet Knights, were there first to back up the ball.
Great hustle from Garrett Bullitt. Beating his man to the end line and gaining possession. Those little things, those add up in the course of a game.
Bullitt, a redshirt sophomore from Draper, Utah. 2-time captain at Corner Canyon High School. We hit on that earlier. Corner Canyon, a couple of Rutgers players attended. Bullitt was teammates for all 4 years with Garrett Michaeli, LSM for Rutgers. Fairfield didn't score any goals in that 3rd quarter. 1 goal in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Dylan Beckwith has none today for the Scarlet Knights. Meade off balance, saved by Coruscant Itty. The freshman has come to play. He is up to 11 saves. That to match Edelman. Mishap at midfield. Fairfield wants to run. Rita gives it up. Now it's Wukta getting harassed. Number 17, the freshman. And the Stags are going to get a timeout with still plenty of time on the shot clock, 59. But Wukta, the freshman, was stuffed in the corner by a pair of Rutgers defenders.
Every possession is key. When you only got 2 goals going into the fourth, you can't afford any turnovers. So good timeout there. Maintain possession. Get your offense in here. Maybe we dial something up with these guys, and again, try to create some kind of an offense here. Get a goal. 6-3 right in the game. So obviously it's not an undoable task, but they've got to get going here and got to get going pretty quickly in the fourth quarter.
To elaborate on that, what do you think the message is right now from Andy Copeland?
I think he's going to have to try to draw up some kind of set plays, some off-ball picks and some off-ball stuff. I think, guys with the ball in their stick, they haven't been able to create or get their hands free or do anything really and initiate that offense and make that Rutgers defense slide. So you got to be off-ball, and it's got to be off-ball picks and cutting and motion and movement. And some guys are going to have to try to find ways to get open with the guy with the ball in the stick. But it's a difficult task. If you can't dodge and create and get that defense to rotate and move and you get them spinning, it's tough to play offense. I mean, anybody can just run with their guy and off ball, just kind of sit next to your guy and watch the game. So it's really hard as a coach, no matter what you draw up or what you do. If guys aren't creating, guys aren't dodging hard and creating slides, there's not really much to draw up for an offense.
When we talked to 8th-year head coach of Rutgers, Brian Brecht, he told us there were 3 things we had to look out for Rutgers to take care of themselves defensively. Loose balls in corners, we just saw that a moment ago. Transition up top, and then wing dodges and picks. And that's one thing Dylan Beckwith is so good at for the Fairfield Stags. No points, 6 shots.
And that's something you could do with Beckwith is maybe, set a pick or a screen for him and get him to a matchup and maybe get a short stick on him and then try and run your offense. But again, you've got to do something here. And right here, now Beckwith's got the ball of the stick, so I would bring a pick down to him, right? And try to bring a pick down to him, try to get a short stick on him or a defenseman that doesn't really feel as comfortable covering him one-on-one and try to create some matchups for him.
Here's Taylor Strow. Ill-advised pass, looking for the captain, Brendan Quinn. A turnover by Fairfield. You were just saying during the break a moment ago, surprised the Stags don't have more turnovers. It's 16 right now. Rutgers ahead 6-2. About 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Scarlet Knights putting it all together today at Rafferty Stadium, trying to win their 4th straight game against Fairfield in the 9th all-time meeting between these 2 programs.
And if I'm Rutgers offensively, I'm running every shot clock down. With the way my team's playing defensively, the way Fairfield has struggled offensively, the way my goalie has played here today, I'm running all these shot clocks down to about 25, 20 seconds, and then I'm going to start my offense, because every second that ticks off is in my advantage as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Mark Shakti with that left-handed bullet soars over the shoulder of Cora Saniti. Shot clock is down to 22 seconds. Sprock, extra pass. Now he keeps it after getting it back. Not much time here to work with. Kamish gets rid of it. 5 on the shot clock. Feet on the doorstep. Bounces off of the pipe. Almost squirted in. Gallagher re-scoops it. And Brian Brecht gets a timeout.
Fairfield had about 4 guys around that ground ball and couldn't pick it up. And again, it talks to what I've been talking about with their defensive players. Just the overall stick skills just don't seem to be there. You've got to come away with this ground ball. You played a long possession. You played your zone defense really nicely. You see it right there hitting the pipe. And
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, so someone's just got to come away with that, and Rutgers does. Good timeout from Coach Brecht. And again, plays to the exact strategy I was talking about. He called that timeout for a reason, because they're going to come in now. They're going to run this clock again. Another, full 80 seconds that they're going to take off the clock. And again, start to shorten this game, and it's going to become that much more difficult for Fairfield to get back into it.
He's Steve Panarelli. I'm Brendan Glasheen. Thanks for joining us for the CAA Game of the Week on LSN. If you're just joining us, Rutgers has set the tone from the start. Went ahead 2-1 at the end of the first. Scored 2 to Fairfield's 1 in the second, so it was 4-2 at halftime. And then Rutgers tacked on 2 more in the third. And they found a way to put together some production with Owen Mead and Adam Sherlambides without star attackman Kieran Mullins, the junior from Islip, New York, named to the Tewaaraton watch list with Sherlambides the other night, out for the second straight game due to injury. He was so good for them last year. He finished second behind Jules Hennenberg, who was pretty good in the Big Ten, in goals with 31 last season. So to not have him and then get this effort out of your defense. Max Edelman missed the first 2 games due to injury between the pipes. Hasn't earned a win yet. 2 tough tests after coming out from injury, losing to Army and Loyola, 2 tough ones. He's had an excellent game, up to 12 saves. Corasaniti for Fairfield, the freshman, has 11 saves, keeping the Stags in striking distance, only down by 4. Can Rutgers put on another? Shot fired over the crossbar by Kamish. Rutgers does clear. That's Gallagher, who had that key ground ball a moment ago before the timeout. 10 minutes to go in regulation. Sanguinetti swings it to Gallagher. Now it's Kamish. Sherlambides and Sprock also out on the field. Sanguinetti is double teamed. Sherlambides feed in front. Mead mishandled it. Now it's a fight for another ground ball. The pole's getting in there, and Fairfield once again misses out. Shot clock is down to 18. Shot wide from David Sprock.
That's a shot he wishes he had back. He had plenty of time and room, was able to step into that. Sometimes it's like in basketball when the guy, he's so wide open, he's got so long to shoot a 3 and then he blows it. It was like one of those, he had too much time, too much room. Open. Yeah.
Shot by Kamish, deflected. Shot clock runs out. But now it resets as Rutgers backed it up in time.
And here comes another 80. That's just going to run for Rutgers.
Scarlet Knights trying to improve their resume with a win on the road. Sprock, bounce shot, just whisking wide. Losses at home to number 19 Army, a loss to number 1 Loyola. Fairfield got a win against Sacred Heart on the road by 1. A crosstown rivalry after losing to St. Joe's to open the season. 8:30 to go. 34 on the shot clock for Rutgers. 2 goals in each quarter so far. Kamish with the feed. Bounce shot, squirts in. Michael Sanguinetti, the sophomore, with his 4th of the season. Rutgers lets the shot clock dwindle and makes the Fairfield defense pay. 7-2.
And even though it's early in this 4th, feels like a bit of a dagger here with the way this game has gone. Fairfield had a few opportunities to get the ball on this whole possession. I think they had three full 80s that they ran out there on Rutgers and then finish it off with a goal. So very impressive right there from the Rutgers offense. Again, able to kill clock and then come away with a goal.
Oh, it has to be frustrating for Fairfield. We had said this really through the bulk of this game, through the 3rd quarter. Their defense taking care of business, generating turnovers and also fighting for loose balls. In 2 circumstances here on the left side in this 4th quarter, it came down to a couple of loose balls that Rutgers scooped up to run more 80-second shot clocks.
What happens too is your offense gets extremely frustrated, and then they finally get the ball back, and instead of working for a really good shot, they force one inside, or they take a bad shot, and that's what happens. It's a direct effect.
Mead with a rocket from outside, a hat trick for the junior, Owen Mead.
It has a direct effect on the entire team when you just don't have the ball on the other side. And you start to get tired on defense, and you can see it right here. Fairfield probably starting to feel some of the effects of this. Just late getting out to that guy. Something that earlier in the game they were doing a great job of getting out to shooters, having their sticks in passing lane, and you can probably see they're starting to get a little more fatigued, and Mead's able to finish it left-handed there as he gets the skip pass. So starting to take its toll on this Fairfield defense.
Nice dish from Adam Sherlambides as well, his second assist of the day, up to 4 points. Sherlambides now has 19 points on the season to lead the team, so he has hopped in front of his injured teammate Kieran Mullins. We're halfway through the fourth quarter. Fairfield searching for answers, folks. No scores for the Stags in this second half. It's been all Scarlet Knights. 2 goals in each quarter. Max Edelman has 12 saves. Each team has now won 7 faceoffs, so hats off to Alex Schoen, who was getting beat early by Frankie Labetti of Fairfield. Schoen, the redshirt senior, backed up Joe Francisco last year, so didn't see much time. Took 116 faceoffs, won 48% of them in 12 games played. Rutgers having a hard time dodging, as Steve mentioned. A shovel shot is deflected out of play. That shot by Kyle Borda for Fairfield. Barnard swings it back up top to Borda. Beckwith trying to get going. Feed in the front. Crawley mishandled, shot save, Edelman. He slid at the perfect time to stop that ball. It stays Rutgers ball. New shot clock.
Interference call there, off ball. Gives the ball back to Fairfield.
I'll tell you, despite missing 2 games to open the season, Max Edelman has not lost a step. There is a reason why. He was a preseason All-Big Ten selection. Another bottling up defense here by Rutgers. They plucked the ball out momentarily. Rita just trying to escape from the traffic. Crawley mishandled. And another infraction against Rutgers. The fans below us not happy. They travel well from Piscataway, just an hour and 20-minute drive. 67 miles.
I'm surprised they didn't agree with that call.
And a shot wide by Borda, the 6'4" midfielder from Kensington, Maryland. Played at Gonzaga College High School.
And getting back to Edelman a little bit, how many saves did you say he had so far?
Up to 12 today, Steve.
Up to 12. Oop, and I just jinxed him. I was really gonna talk really well. No, I still will, but nice goal right there.
Travis Ford with the finish to get Fairfield off the schneid. First goal of the second half for the Stags.
And took a tough bounce here, I think. As you see here, he's driving to the middle of the field. One of those shots was a tough hop off of the turf, so that's a tough save from Edelman, but give credit to Ford there, able to get his hands free. Again, even that goal, you could see, that was a very difficult shot. That was not an easy play for Fairfield to score that. But again, going back to Edelman, only 12 saves, but sometimes it's not in the numbers. It's the types of saves he's made today. A lot of doorstep, a lot of cross crease where he's had to go from side to side and show his reflexes. So he's made some really nice saves, and the few times he's been called on, he's answered.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, granted a medical red shirt in the early part of the fall. He had to miss the first 2 games of the season against Lafayette and at St. John's. Thrown into the fire with matchups against number 19 Army. He allowed 10 and then 13 to the Greyhounds, so kept his team in the game. And that was the question coming in for Rutgers. Could they still generate enough offense with Kieran Mullins out for the second straight game and continue to get great production from Edelman between the pipes as he sees one soar by his head? I think we found our answer. 8-3 lead for Rutgers with under 5 to go in this one. Travis Ford had that goal a moment ago, former Inside Lacrosse top 50 young gun selection. Here he is again. Ford sticks with it, fires. Didn't get a lot of mustard on that shot. Edelman slid over, to your point, making all kinds of saves, up to 13. Ford up top, covered by Zach Masessa, the sophomore long pole. On the feed, Pless breaks it up. It was a check by Beckwith. Pless lost his stick. And he retains possession. Shot clock at 60. Beckwith to Ford, fires and scores. There is some life here inside Rafferty Stadium. 2 in a row for Travis Ford. And Rutgers' lead is now just doubling Fairfield 8-4.
Now we've been tough on this Fairfield offense here today. But again, look at what they're able to do when they have the ball, when they have possession. You know, right? They're able to create a couple opportunities here. And you take a look at Ford right there, a little off-ball pick, be able to get himself free and finish it. So again, you know, we've been tough on them, but you got to also take into consideration that they haven't had the ball a lot, and they've had some missed opportunities in the clearing game, which has caused that. So again, just need the possession. They need the ball. Can't score without the ball.
And you said a moment ago that pick, that was Brian Crawley, number 44, who set up Ford around the screen to get an easy opportunity, and he scores. Sun is setting now inside Rafferty Stadium. Still shines on half of Conway Field. 3:40 to go in regulation, and Rutgers trying to escape with a road win after 2 home losses to top 20 teams over the last 2 weeks. For Travis Ford, it's a good sign for Fairfield. Despite the result today, he actually had to miss the season opener. His first game of the season was last week against Sacred Heart, and he went for 2 goals and an assist. Shot clock to 30. Meade has a hat trick in this one for Rutgers. The offense the Scarlet Knights needed with Kieran Mullins out today. Sprock up top to Tommy Coyne, the Naperville, Illinois sophomore. Shot clock to 8. He gets the double team. Meade, the lefty, bounces just in front of the right doorstep wide. 3 seconds to shoot. And Rutgers did back this up. Gallagher just throws it away.
Exactly what you expected from the Rutgers offensively. Fairfield, 2 quick strikes there, 2 goals to get back within 4. You know they're going to get much more conservative on offense here and really, again, run those 80 seconds and limit the amount of possessions that Fairfield even has left in this game.
Well, like you said, when Michael Sanguinetti made it 7-2, it felt like the dagger here at the stadium as the crowd and the atmosphere sort of quelled. Andy Copeland's going to take a timeout. 11th year head coach of Fairfield. 2:20 to go in the 4th quarter. We'll step aside from Rafferty Stadium in Fairfield, Connecticut. Can Rutgers hold on for the road win? Find out and come back with us on Lax Sports Network.